Alright y'all, what's poppin'? It's your boy JP. I'm back with another video. Now in today's video, we're gonna be tapping in with rappers who fell off. Now we already know, man, when it comes to rapping, a lot of people like to jump in it because the image they see from the rappers, or the jewelry, or the money they portray and all this craziness. But one thing about the industry, it might be way easier to get in than to maintain yourself in the game as a relevant identity as a rapper for years to come. You know what I'm saying? We don't get them Drake runs, the 10 years plus, the 5 years plus. Though that's not easy, you feel me? Most rappers might have one hit and they out of here, or they might be good for a year or two, get locked up. So there's a lot of things that go on, you know, when it comes to music. So we're gonna jump right in and we're gonna check out some of these artists that fell off the map. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on so you know anytime I post a video. And yeah, let me know what y'all think about these artists. Do y'all feel like they fell off or not? So let's jump in and let's check it out. One.
Today, we're breaking down the biggest rappers who fumbled the bag and fell off. DaBaby literally fell off last year when he stumbled into the crowd during the set. But now his career is taking a nosedive too. He blew up in 2019 and dropped back-to-back #1 albums. But now, he's struggling to even book a show. It all started last year when DaBaby performed at Rolling Loud in Miami. In the middle of the show, he went on a homophobic rant and said,
"You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks, put a cell phone like that."
DaBaby got dragged for it.
I wonder, like, to be honest, I wonder if some rappers just be feeling like they're too on top of the world, where they feel like they can say whatever the hell they want and get away with it. Cause that's crazy to just say, you feel me? But keep it a buck, y'all. Let me know in the comments. Do y'all think that he really got canceled because of that comment? Cause I thought they forgave him. Supposedly he took some type of classes to inform himself about the LGBTQ community and all that stuff. I don't know. I think there's something bigger than that. You know, he probably pissed somebody off that's a higher up, and that's the reason, you know, shit not going so good for him.
Alright, so he clapped back and said, "What me and my fans do at the live show, it don't concern you on the internet, or you bitter bitches on the internet." All the controversy led to Lollapalooza and the Governor's Ball pulling them from their schedule.
Yeah, they
got
was
cut from Parklight
taking him
Festival,
out of everything.
Day in Vegas, Austin City Limits Festival, Music Midtown, and the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
That just sound like M's on
He ended up
M's.
apologizing on IG, but then deleted the post and got even more backlash. DaBaby had hopped on Dua Lipa's Levitating remix, and after Rolling Loud, she said, "I'm surprised and horrified at DaBaby's comments. I really don't recognize this as the person I work with. I know my fans know where my heart lies, and that I stand 100% with the LGBTQ community." Radio stations ended up playing an alternate version of the track without DaBaby on it. Everything calmed down after a while, and DaBaby went back to doing shows. But it looks like...
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's like one of them things that whoever you are at the times that we living in right now, you can't even play around like that. You feel me? Like, you could get canceled for stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? People in that community got a lot of power. You know, they in a lot of business and things like that. So if you ain't got nothing nice to say, it's just best to, you know, just keep it cool, man. Cause this is the shit that could happen. You feel me? Your whole career could go down the fucking pipeline just because you saying some wild stuff.
His career took a massive hit. Back in August, his show at the Smoothie King Center Arena in New Orleans was canceled after he allegedly sold less than 500 tickets.
Damn!
His team obviously expected to sell more. The arena holds 14,000 people, and selling less than 500 is
then
a
he
good
do
sign
album
for
with
him.
YB.
His team
Why they
says the
pop
story's all
open?
cap though. They put out a statement and said DaBaby's New Orleans show was pulled by the artist team due to the promoter being in breach of contract. DaBaby will be back in New Orleans very soon to make it up to his fans. They say he's gonna make it back up to fans,
Nah,
but it doesn't look like DaBaby has many of them left. Roddy Ricch blew up back in 2018 when his track Die Young racked up over 80 million views on YouTube. Then in 2019, he took
Die
it to
Young
another
was
level.
definitely a
He
hit.
dropped his debut album, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, which debuted at
Banger.
#1 on the Billboard 200 and stayed there for 4 weeks. His track The Box stayed at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 11 weeks and now has over 1 billion streams on Spotify. Roddy became a superstar pretty much overnight, but now fans think the fame is going to be gone as quickly as it came. After his first album dropped, Roddy hopped on some other people's songs, but wasn't releasing any new solo music. Fans were waiting for his sophomore record, and in 2020, he told GQ that the album was done, and that it was a full-blown masterpiece, a real idea, a real body of work. 2 years after his first album, Roddy finally dropped Live Life Fast in December 2021, but fans and critics weren't feeling it like his older projects. It debuted at number 4, but fell off fast, and people immediately started saying that Roddy peaked. Back in February, he started hyping up his new music. He posted a snippet from a track called Out My Mind, but people started clowning the track like crazy. A couple hours later, he ended up deleting the snippet and wrote, "Guess I'm a flop now, shit crazy," on his IG story. The situation was obviously getting to him, because after that, Roddy deactivated his Twitter and IG account. A lot of fans thought he totally fell off, but back in June, Post Malone announced that Roddy Ricch was going to be touring with him. Roddy was featured on the track Cooped Up off Post Malone's new album, and getting the tour with one of the hottest artists in the world should definitely help his career. He definitely fell off from where he was a couple of years ago, but if he drops another hit, Roddy could be right back at the top. Lil Mosey.
I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to Roddy, I feel like, first of all, just in general, like for any like rappers, bro, you only one record away from getting back to where you was at before. And the thing with Roddy Ricch, I don't necessarily say like he fell off. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest too, with that second album, I wasn't really feeling that album. I think it was probably like one record that he had that was kind of like a big hit. But I feel like when it comes to him, it's just the fact that he tried to use the same route that Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole type of, the format that they have, or the formula that they have, is pretty much they're gonna drop an album or drop whatever and then go ghost for some years. But they could do that because they have a fan base that they already built for so many years that's gonna wait for them, that's gonna listen to all the bullshit and wait for them to drop an album. You feel me? They got that, you know, that core fan base that I don't think Roddy Ricch has that. So it's like for you to just drop a banger album and just disappear, bro, I feel like you haven't, you know, earned your rights and your respect to do that in the game. And then I feel like personally, the minute you take a break in the rap game, it's over, because there's many rappers coming in the game all the time, dropping music, and what, people just gonna forget about you. You gotta look at like YB's on top of the game, and he's dropping albums damn near every month, every other month. So it's like you gotta put out a lot of music because people forget about you quick. So all that taking a year off, 2 years off, and just showing up on other people's stuff, and then you're not posting pictures on Instagram, people not seeing you. Like, there's a lot that goes with being an artist. So I think that's what really contributed to him just, I wouldn't necessarily say falling over, people not really connecting with him like they did on the first album.
Viral off the track Pull Up back in 2018. He was dropping music for a couple years and built up a fan base. But Pull Up really put him on the map and racked up over 25 million views on YouTube. He followed it up with the track
I met Lil Mosey too in Texas, South by Southwest.
Notice, popped off, and did crazy numbers. The track got a Cole Bennett music video that almost has 300 million views on YouTube. Mosey dropped his debut album later that year. It did solid numbers and reached number 29 on the Billboard 200. But a lot of fans were surprised that it didn't sell more. All the singles popped off and did big numbers, but that success didn't carry over to album sales. In 2019, he had another Cole Bennett music video for the track Bust Down Cartier, but it only racked up around 15 million views. 15 mil is a lot, but his last collab with Bennett almost hit 300, so this was definitely a fall off.
Definitely.
He dropped his second album in 2019, but it only sold 23K in the first week, and fans weren't really rocking with it. It looked like Mosey had fallen off for good, but in 2020, he went more viral than ever with the track Blueberry Faygo. Mosey hopped on the TikTok rap wave, and it paid off big time. Blueberry Faygo went crazy online, and the music video racked up even more views than the video for Notice. The same day he dropped the track,
Don't he got a
Mosey
song with
reissued
Gunna?
his second album and put Blueberry Faygo on it. Now, it's his most popular song with over 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Damn, I gotta listen to that.
It looks like Mosey is falling off again. None of his new tracks are doing numbers. Plus, he's facing serious legal allegations too. Mosey's trial's been pushed back a couple of times, and now it's set to start on December 12th,
what he knocked up for?
Charges definitely didn't help his career, but it looks like it was pretty much over anyways. Rich the Kid got into the rap game.
As far as like Lil Mosey, I don't know. I don't think Lil Mosey was ever on to say that he fell off. Like I wouldn't say he was like one of them top dogs like the Baby was, or even how Roddy Ricch was when he dropped that first album and when he had all them records. I don't think it was the same. Maybe, I don't know, it's just probably not something I listened to, but I don't think he was ever on to even like fall off. You feel me? He had solid records, I guess, but
back in 2013,
Rich.
after hustling for a few years, he started popping
I fuck
off
with Rich
and
the
ended
Kid
up
too,
signing
I'm
a
gonna
new
be
deal
honest.
with Interscope in 2017.
one thing
For a
about
while,
him,
he was working with
he
huge
definitely a
artists like
hustler.
Kendrick Lamar, Quavo, and Future, but his career lost a lot of steam, and last year, his Lucky EP only sold 5K his first week
Damn.
out. Rich tried to level up and become a label boss when he started Rich Forever Music, but the label never really popped off, and he's had a lot of drama with his own artists too. It's also what led to his infamous beef with Lil Uzi Vert. Back in December 2020,
remember.
Rich aired out how he feels about the industry on his IG stories. He said,
I remember
"The industry's
Lil
full of
Uzi
lying,
Vert ran him out of
stealing,
Philly.
blood-sucking motherfuckers for real. They will hate you, talk shit about you, and the whole
Dead
time
ass
be
broke.
dead ass broke." Around the same time, Fashion Nova hit him up with a lawsuit for $2.1 million over a $100,000 advance that Rich allegedly ran off with.
Damn.
He clapped back on IG and said, "I don't owe Fashion Nova no money. If Fashion Nova want $100,000 from me, they know I can pull up and drop
Talk
it
your
off."
shit.
Rich also had to hand over a bag to his former managers. A judge ordered him to pay Blueprint Artist Management $1.1 million
Damn.
after they sued him for not paying. Then his landlord sued him for over $300K after Rich got $32,000 behind on rent payment. He already had money issues going on. And in January 2021, Jay Critch aired Rich Forever out on Instagram. He wrote, "I am not rich forever. That shit been a dub. Stop letting these cap about owning masters and shit. They trying to hold in bum ass deals. Be your brother until the business come up. Then it's all lawyer talk, contract talk, not real shit.
It's always
Don't
like
want
that.
no
It's
music?
business
Tell
over
him free
everything.
Critch, whole ass." Rich clapped back and accused Critch of snaking him just to get a bag, and the situation started getting heated. They sent shots back and forth on social media for a while, but eventually they
Yeah, I
squashed
think
the
they
beef.
cool now.
Last year, Rich went on the New Music Daily podcast and said, "I feel like when it comes to business, you really need to just keep it in-house. But sometimes, when your emotions get mixed up into the business, that's when shit goes bad. That's what I'm really learning as I grow up. We've been friends forever, so definitely. We spoke on the phone. I talked to him yesterday." Luckily, Rich and Jay Critch put it all behind them and are cool again. And hopefully Rich can get his legal situation sorted out too. He fell off for sure.
He said he
can
fell off
bounce
for
right
sure.
back if he drops a hit or signs an artist that pops off and puts on for the label. Famous Dex
Nah,
blew up back
I think Rich the Kid could get back, to be honest. Like I said before, you're only one record away from getting back to where you gotta be. And one thing about him, you can kind of tell with the features that he begins sometimes, like the Kendricks and these big artists, you could tell he works hard and he connects with people. So I feel like, you know, he could always get back to where he gotta get to.
mid-2010. He dropped a couple of independent mixtapes, then signed to Rich the Kid's label. In 2017, he
Famous
popped off with
Dex.
the track
Famous Dex is
Japan,
really hot
Pick
for
It
a
Up
little
with
minute.
A$AP Rocky. But his addiction and time in jail ended up killing his career, and his latest track hasn't even hit 50,000 streams. Back in 2018, Dex fell asleep in the middle of an IG live session. Fans were worried that he was nodding off of pills, but Dex denied using any hard drugs. Then in 2019, he suffered a seizure in the middle of a set in Hollywood.
Dang, I ain't even know
Others
that.
said it was caused by drugs, but Dex and his team said it was epilepsy and not from substance abuse. Dex was still dropping music, but nothing gained any traction. Fans could tell he was on drugs, even though he kept denying it. After a lot of people reached out, Dex hopped on IG Live and told everyone to stay out of his business. He said, "Stop worrying about the next motherfucker that's doing drugs. The world on drugs. You know what I'm saying? I got money. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. Goofy ass he worried about me for. And two, I
Nah,
don't do none of that
my
shit.
son lost
I
himself in the
smoke
game.
weed and take care of my kids." But less than a day later, after he told everyone he was good, the news broke that Dex had gone into rehab. He got out in January 2021, but when he hopped back on social media, it was clear that he was using again. Fans were worried that he might die from an overdose, but he ended up getting booked in jail a couple months later. In March 2021, Dex got hit with 19 charges from 3 different
Damn.
situations. According to police, in November 2020, Dex got into a standoff with a SWAT team after allegedly hurting his ex-girlfriend. In October 2020, he allegedly attacked another woman, and in March 2021, he was arrested during a traffic stop for carrying a loaded gun. Even though Dex had some wild charges against him, he only got hit with a 1-year sentence. He was released in September,
That's not bad.
and then went straight into rehab. He said he plans on staying there until at least November, and hopefully this time, he can kick the addiction for good. Lil Xan was a big part of the SoundCloud mumble rap wave, but he went from touring with massive artists like Nicki Minaj to dropping out of his own tour and starting beef with a random metal band who was a supporting act. Zan had huge hits like Slingshot and Betrayed.
I always knew the name, but I never really listened to no Lil Xan music. Y'all let me know what hits he got.
He announced he was retiring and said, "I quit rapping and I'm only gonna focus on moving forward with the Xanarchy clothing line and brand." But after a few years of battling addiction, Xan decided to make a comeback. He announced a new tour, but then dropped out of the first show.
The
A band
fuck?
called Dropout Kings was supposed to open for him, and they aired Xan out on IG after he dropped the set. They wrote, "Straight up, f Lil Xan, 100%, I don't even care. Dude is a total piece of shit for doing this to all the artists and staff involved in this." Xan clapped back and said all the issues were because of Dropout Kings and their team, but nobody really knows what's going on. Later that same month, he dropped his first project in 3 years, but only 2 songs hit over 100K streams. Lil Xan was one of the most popular SoundCloud rappers for a while, but he fumbled the bag and let his career fall completely off.
Let them drugs
Luckily,
get to him.
he's at least sober now. Even though his music isn't popping off like it used to, that's still a huge win.
Yeah, man, as long as you sober, man, you got more life, you can always get a record to bounce back. But y'all, this is the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, how y'all feel about these artists. For to know who y'all still listening from the bunch, who you think can get their career back. Let me know in the comments, man. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be responding to y'all. But yeah, this is the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and to the next one. I'm off this. Ooh!